How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Are you guys nervous? How do you feel?
Relaxed.
All right. Nobody's talking to you. There's so many of you. Nobody's talking to you.
Hey, Matt.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Were you just in the bathroom?
No, I was just standing in the back. I figured.
I'm going to read from a manuscript called Agnes the Elephant. And that's the newest thing I've been working on recently. And I'll just read it's a long prose piece, and I'm just going to read a few little pieces that I've extracted from it. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first time anyone rode an elephant was on a Tuesday. It was in May of 4508 BC in the Indus Valley. It had been raining and the river was high. The man was just standing there by the river. And the first elephant to ever have been ridden was just standing there too, as if nothing had ever occurred to it, as if it had just woken up into a long, bright tunnel of history. Many people think the first time someone ever rode an elephant was to trample someone else's army, but that's not true. It was just a Tuesday, and it had been raining. Something starts happening, then something is happening. Then something happens, and then nothing happens, and then something new happens, and then someone you don't know jumps off a tall building and dies on the sidewalk in front of a group of school children on a class field trip to the Natural History Museum. But it is you. It's been you this whole time. I wrap my legs around Agnes the elephant's hips and ride her to the refrigerator. I ride her everywhere. Like, for example, I ride her all the way into town where I buy us an ice cream cone. I hold it, of course, still riding on her back, but I let her lick it by putting it in front of her face. I ride her all the way home too, and when I take off all of her clothes, I smell her body, and it smells like white cake. But sometimes I just want to be completely inside her. I want my whole body to be all the way inside her, sitting there, in all that hot sadness of the hell of her sad elephant body, and looking out of it as I ride her into town from the inside. I would get us an ice cream cone then, from the inside, and pull the ice cream cone through her mouth into my own body. And when I lick it, it would be no different than her also licking it, but from the inside, because everything in me would be in her. To eat something inside of something else is the same as that second something also eating it too, at the same time as you. But I would also be sure to rub the cold cone slowly along the hot walls of the inside of her stomach. Does that feel good, I'd say? But in a way, she'd say it too. The refrigerator is open. There is a baby in a jar. It is time for breakfast. The universe is still expanding. Your hands are moving like you're wrangling a snake. Will you do a magic trick? You start to do the magic trick. We get on a plane to Tokyo. They serve us both cake. It is not cake. It is two babies. I try to tell them about what cake is. No one on the plane to Tokyo knows what cake actually is. I don't want to ever eat again. The babies are crying. I am dying in a pool of blood. During the Shang dynasty in China, it was rare to ride elephants because they were so hard to catch. And once caught, they were difficult to breed because it took so long for them to come out of their mothers. And it takes a long time for a baby elephant to be strong enough to be ridden long distances. It takes a long time for a baby elephant to become a regular elephant. They don't know where they're going. I'm on a small white boat with 3 wounded chickens. At times, they are finally still and quiet, as if they had died. But then they again begin squawking and shaking. One of them is missing a wing in the back half of her body. Another one looks as if it is inside out. Its head just hangs there, its eyes blinking. When I try to kill them with an axe, I cut the boat in half. I cut my legs in half. I cut my head in half. I cut my entire body in half. I cut the sea in half. I cut the mountains in half, and the sky, and the clouds, the airplanes, and all the people in the airplanes, all in half. I cut the world in half. I am adopted by a family that lives on a farm, and one day my new father asks me to kill the chickens for dinner. He puts the axe in my one hand. I do not remember exactly half of everything, but he should have not put an axe in the one hand of a boy exactly like me. So far north, it's French. Her and me, and you, and me and you, all facing her and you. I was riding Agnes the elephant on an airplane. I was riding Agnes, and Agnes was riding the airplane. It was the kind of airplane you jump out of with a parachute. And before we knew it, we were in the air. Me, Agnes the elephant, the red parachute above us like a torn flower, the white belly of the plane above that, another kind of elephant in the sky, and a naked woman on a horse. I want to throw more dinner parties. That was one of my thoughts. There's an open seat next to you in the dark balcony of the movie theater, so I sit in it. I've been waiting for you, you said. A scary movie called The Girl starts. The girl is levitating above a pond. You lick your hand, then put it in my pants. You lick my hand and put it in your pants. The girl is killing her parents with an axe, hiding their heads in a toy box. That was one of my sex dreams recently.
What was the other one?
I'm going to read that one. I was in the desert at a person's backyard party when I heard a pack of coyotes tearing apart a herd of cats on the other side of the wall. Are you turned on?
Do you want me to be?
Yes. It sounded like children laughing hysterically at first. What could they be laughing at like that? The person said it was coyotes killing cats. It's such an awful sound, said the person. Then the person took a drink of wine. We can do so much damage, and so quickly, with just our hands. I looked at my hands while the cats were ripping. They looked like the hands of a vengeful king. How long would it take before I was drinking the person's blood? Swimming in it, dying in a pool of it. How is your wine? I said. It's good, said the person. How's your wine? Said the person. Mine's good too, I said, even though the person and I were drinking the same wine. I am a boy. I am playing with a toy boat in the dirt. You can't see me from the tree. The tree is full of leaves, and you can't see into it or out of it. You are bleeding onto my cowboy hat. It makes a pool. I put the toy boat in the pool in the hat and make a sound like a mother who can't find her child, who has run into the woods, and the woods go forever. I will be the murderer of my own murderer, and the murderer of my own murderer. In the future is an eyeball. In the future is a potato. In the future is a stadium. In the future is an airport. Everything is moving everywhere and fast, but only in straight lines in the future. Also in the future is space. Things come apart and fit back together so easily in space in the future. I've never looked at as closely at anyone as I have looked at you in the future. You are a cell there. And did you know I am a cell there too? I am a cell there too. And if you look even further in the future, 100 happy families dying together on a tram. In the future there is no beginning because we are too far to see it. We are so small. We are so small. We sew. We move boxes. We plug things in. There's nothing abnormal about me being a normal lake. Agnes the elephant and I decided to celebrate by drinking champagne in the shower all day and all night. We started with our clothes and shoes on like we're at a New Year's party. I like your earrings. I'd say. Thanks, they're my grandma's, she'd say. We talked like that with the hot water on us, the cold champagne swirling around our teeth. We peeled off our clothes and clinked our glasses. We decided to celebrate in the shower like this every day for a week because there was so much to celebrate and never enough time to celebrate it all properly. After a week like this, peeling and clinking and swirling, streaming the wallpaper from the walls, steaming the wallpapers from the walls, streaming something else, I'm sure, we decided, no, that line wasn't there. We decided to stay in the shower for another month. It was the only way, really. Anything less than a week or two just seemed improper. At times, it even became frustrating, all that celebrating to do, as if we couldn't quite keep up with the demand of it. And after a month, we just decided to stay in the shower indefinitely. Then that very thing became the thing we celebrated. All right, thanks.